Divine connections, the timing for them cannot be picked or swayed by spirit. When you ask spirit to provide you with something, they will always say, meet that frequency and you shall receive. But that doesn't mean it will come in the way you expect, when you expect, who you expect. But they will always make you prepared for that time. A lot of times we think somebody's our divine or etc. And it propels us into all this change, all this upgrades, the next part of your spiritual journey, if you will. And then you meet somebody else. After that separation with that person where you're like, I feel crazy. Why did I feel this way about this person? I have so many questions now I need answered about myself. I know they're not meant for me. But what was the purpose behind this? We all have those dynamics. And there's things usually with that person where you're like, man, I said that overboard, or I did too much, or I did too less. I wasn't being myself. If I could go back and do things differently, would things be different now? Well, of course they'd be different now, but you wouldn't be who you are now. That doesn't mean the different would be good or bad. A lot of times we receive this person in our life that I wouldn't necessarily always call it a false divine, but we receive a person that is a mirror image, if you will, of who your divine truly is. Characteristics that resemble them, maybe looks, but nonetheless, you see that the person before you saw as this person that you would build from the ground up with, if you will. You see that they were brought into your life and you were brought into their life for a trial run, if you will. That both of you had a connection and there was no way to prevail in your journey if in those moments you did not believe that person could be your potential divine counterpart. But once that need for each other had been fulfilled, you moved forward and you spent time to yourself and you've attracted in somebody that is definitely a soul tie and could be very well your divine counterpart. Now, it looks like this person, I just keep hearing so many characteristics about them. It's like, it's not necessarily the way they act or etc., but it's deeply about the way they look or their interests and etc. are very similar to somebody of your past. And you're slow and steady wins the race type of person now. You weren't when you were younger. You've absolutely built this whole level of success inwardly and outwardly, and you're like, don't want to rush this. But am I right? Is there something more here? Because some things started clicking for you just seeing this person. Reflection of the past. And seeing that you would have not been ready for this person anytime sooner than now. You've gone so inward, like with your retrospective. So many times people try to point outwards if that wasn't happening, if that wasn't happening. Don't get me wrong. We have outside forces and things that we have to figure out, is there anything I can do with my freedom of will to control this, to alter this, or do I just, with my freedom of will and control, have to separate? But there are a lot of times with the way we're feeling about ourselves is directly affecting our existence. Until there was a certain point of self-love and controlling your emotions, you could not align to who your true divine was, but you needed people along the path. So what's going on with this new connection? Well, Spirit's definitely stating with this individual, slow and steady, it will win the race, but to not make sure you're pausing and doing things because you feel scared to... I'm getting a really deep introspective with whoever's connected to you in this reading. This person's an inwards thinker, and they definitely don't chase. They are a attractor just like you. And there's been some people in the past where you felt that you had to like match a level of energy when it came to expression or even messaging, etc. And Spirit's stating with this, let your guides guide you when to make the next moves or allow things to flow organically. If this is slow and steady wins the race with the dynamic, but don't put a pause and cause disruption. Thinking I'm supposed to do something a certain way. When you start thinking, I think I should do this versus this is how I confidently will proceed forward, that's something to look in within yourself. Spirit says to not overthink with this connection. What do they see in you right now? Wow. Well, the person that is connected to you, they feel a little restricted in their life currently. There's something that was a natural end that just occurred in their life that could have been a past loved one or a relationship or some form of like a whole structure of what they knew coming down. You came in at their life in a moment where they were like, Spirit, please send, I'm ready for somebody that's not going to play games with me. I truly have grown so much within this past year of my life and driven away from certain things. And they could have their guard quite a bit up when it comes to looking for red flags, if you will. So the important thing with this dynamic is that deep patience and understanding your time is valid and their time is valid. Understanding how their love languages work and finding the light throughout the dark night of your soul when you're getting to know each other. And what I mean by that is this person, there's going to be some situations where you're very deeply being at peace with fate for a response or an answer to a question. And you have to remember that if this is your divine counterpart, etc., there's nothing you can do to push them away other than try to force things to happen faster than they're supposed to. See, the thing with you and the person in front of me, I feel like you went into extreme hyper-independency. And Spirit doesn't want you to seclude. It's the biggest thing. It's like your surfboard, remember? There was a time of your life years and years and years ago that you would go too far into the board. You would tip over. And they're stating that you have to let go of the fear of being hurt to truly be able to love again. I feel like a deep amount of what I'm feeling right now. It's absolutely you, but it's them. I feel like you in like probably the past 2 to 3 months have really solidified this understanding and see things a lot differently now. And they're going to go through some mental hoops as these connections are supposed to do, and you really are to be at peace with fate. You're not closing off any doors for yourself. But there's something deeper with this connection. You can feel it already. Whoever the masculine is going to point a deep sense of confidence completely going forward. You know if you're the masculine or the feminine. The masculine is going to make moves based off of his own drive, his own intuition, or there. Because remember, masculine just means willpower, go-getter attitude, self-composure. It does tend to be in a lot of dynamics to be the man, but sometimes it's not. You know your place. However it resonates for you. And because also we have relationships sometimes where there's not even men in them. So remember, when you're learning about your masculine and feminine nature, etc., you have to release the ego and gender conforming mindsets to it to know yourself more, truly. Whoever the masculine is in this dynamic wants to be a helping hand and feels very secure in their trust of this fruitful connection. Very much okay with going at the feminine's pace, because it looks like the feminine may be more the one that will come in and out with that trust, but this is good. The masculine's goal is to be a safe space for this feminine. The masculine's goal is to be a space of clearance, of peace, of comfort. And the masculine definitely understands that that doesn't happen overnight. And that takes consistency. That takes showing the feminine even after the inspiration is gone. Their consistency is going to stay. And vice versa. Like during this whole process, the feminine is also going to show leaps of faith within their own self insecurities and etc. Not jumping to conclusions. I see the feminine in this dynamic could have really jumped to conclusions and not asked questions in the past with people. That's different now. Your connection will start, or has started, at an arm's distance length. And gradually it's going to proceed forward with more. Just remember when the ball's in your court. I see you two playing tennis, if you will. So which means that it's gonna be a back and forth between only you two. It's not outside forces that are gonna get in the way. You're both very strong and independent individuals with your mindsets. You both very much fade out distractions with your life and have your professional life of utmost importance. So the only thing that would try to get in the way is your parasite. That part embedded within your mind that was implemented in childhood and etc. to make you think you weren't enough or keep you in a low frequency, if you will. That's what the parasite is. And I feel like when we identify and give a name to something, you take power over it. The parasite will want you to think things are happening that aren't, and you stay in check with yourself. Slow and steady wins the race, but this person is definitely not about games. Remember what your law of attraction is at this moment, and that your guides wouldn't even allow this person to feel comfortable enough to take their leaps of faith to you if they were somebody your soul or your team would discourage from your existence. Sometimes spirit puts blockades on people that we want to come to us to protect us, even if it pisses us off. And then sometimes when certain people feel scared, vulnerable, and they need that extra push, spirit will literally break down the whole wall for that person and say, come here, you're safe. And all you must do is know your place in the dynamic, and when the ball's in your court, don't be afraid to pass it back. That's what I got for you today. We're gonna talk about Twitch. Over on Twitch at Uncle Bronze Official. I stream 3 days a week, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And every single one of those streams, I give away a free tarot reading to one of the followers. All you must simply do to enter the giveaway, 3 things. Follow me on Twitch. go ahead, watch the active live stream. And then always, every single active live stream, I have a keyword that will be on my screen, and you would simply type that keyword into the chat and it enters you into the giveaway. Make sure to have your inboxes, which are called whispers on Twitch in case you're not aware, open to where somebody that's not your friend can message you. Because if you come into the stream, you watch for a little bit and you decide to leave and you win, if you don't have your whispers open to where somebody who is not your friend can message you, I won't be able to let you know that you won. So that's simple. You go into your settings and it's very simple from there. That's what I got for y'all today. And I'll see you when I see you. Let's get it.
Thank you.